What if there was a secret backdoor to getting more views and more sales without filming another YouTube video? And most creators overlook this one tiny feature that can quietly do both. Plus, it only takes a few minutes to do. This works even if you don't have a big audience, and one of my clients saw results the same day that he used it. But if you don't use this strategy, your growth will be a lot slower than it should be. Imagine there's a stadium filled with your ideal audience, and at the front of the stadium there is a huge queue filled with creators trying to get their videos noticed. Now, you could stand in that queue hoping that you will get through the door, but around the side there's a quiet little door. No queue, and it leads straight inside. That door is the YouTube community tab, and barely anyone's using it right now. One of my clients has started using it recently, and in the last month he's had an extra 41,000 impressions, and that's 41,000 people who saw his posts. Some of those posts linked to his videos, some led to sales, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the 6 simple community post types that will blow up your channel and your business. And if you want a template that covers all of these post types, then I'll put it down below in the video description. But that brings us onto a problem. What on earth should we put in these community posts? There are a million things we could talk about. Trying to narrow our focus and come up with one good post, that is difficult. But what if there was a way to find content for your community wall posts in just a few minutes? And in fact, what if it required almost no extra work? This is a technique that I call the candy jar method. Let's imagine that this jar represents a finished video on your YouTube channel. The sweets, they represent all of the research, the ideas, the tactics that you put into that video. And once the jar is full, the video is finished. But most people will publish the video and close the jar up. But instead, what if we reused those sweets? To take those key ideas out and reuse them for your community wall. For example, I have a video about how to make thumbnails with AI. Inside that video are multiple sweets that I could repurpose. One of those sweets could be a specific prompt that I shared in that video. Another could be the tools that I talked about. And another could be a step-by-step walkthrough. That's 3 separate posts from a single video. So you spend all the time making a video in the first place, so why not reuse those ideas and content? So the first type of community post, it's the tactics and ideas from your existing videos pulled straight from your candy jar. You can take those individual sweets and turn them into simple, high-value posts. But one thing that I struggled a lot with when creating content was, how do I stand out on the platform? Because there are already tons of other people making pretty similar content to me. And maybe you can relate. It's hard to get motivated to create videos if you think they'll flop. But this perspective shift changed everything for me. There is a guy on YouTube called Dan Bolton who has a small channel with just 5,000 subscribers. But he makes over $100,000 every single month from his online coaching. He's in a very competitive niche, teaching people how to build online businesses. And at first, I thought, how on earth does he do that? His videos don't get many views, typically 1,000 to 2,000 views per video. So I signed up for his paid coaching, and one sentence changed everything for me. People don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. People buy who you are, your values, your beliefs, and what you stand for in the world. And I realised we can apply this same lesson to YouTube. People don't buy YouTube, they buy YouTubers. So the second type of community post is mindset content. Not just your processes, but your perspective. Let people see how you think, what you stand for. That makes them stick around because they get to know you, and eventually they'll want to work with you. But once people trust your thinking, then you need to make sure they feel heard, because there is a big problem with YouTube. It's a very one-sided conversation, and if you're trying to run a business from your channel, this can be a huge problem. Gong.io did an analysis of 25,000 sales conversations, and they found that the top performers would speak 43% of the time and listen 57% of the time. But on YouTube, that is heavily skewed the other way. Maybe some people will write a comment below our videos, but the conversation is heavily one-sided. And if you want to make money from your channel, this next type of post will fix that. Instead of speaking at people, we can ask them a question. What do they think? What do they believe? What do they want to see next? For example, asking your audience about things they relate to. What's something you used to believe about your topic that you now see differently? Or ask for opinions. I'm planning my next video. What topic are you most curious about? A, B, or C? And posts like this boost engagement and create connection. They make people feel like they're part of something, not just watching from the sidelines. That's how you turn subscribers into superfans and clients. But have you ever seen any channels exploding overnight on YouTube? They have no editing and it's just somebody talking to the camera for 10 minutes straight. And at first, it seems like they've stumbled upon some sort of miracle. Until you realise what is actually going on. They're just talking about their life, sharing real stories, honest lessons, little insights from their week. And these videos aren't polished. They're not perfect. But that's why they work. They feel real. They feel like we're getting to know that person for who they really are. And look, I get it, your videos might be more produced than that. However, there's no reason we can't create that type of content on the community wall, and that's where the next type of community post comes in. Behind the scenes and personal insight. And you use it to show what you're working on, what you're learning, or what's happening behind the curtain of your channel. It doesn't need to be deep or dramatic, just real. Because the more human you are, the more people connect with you and the more they want to work with you. But if you want to land clients directly from YouTube, this next type of post is invaluable. And I didn't realise how powerful it was until one of my clients used it just a few weeks ago. You see, he helps men with their receding hairlines, offering them one-to-one consultation to guide them through the process step by step. And he posted one simple community post. He shared a before and after of a client that he'd helped and walked people through exactly how he got those results. And the outcome was that he got 6 booked sales calls in just 16 hours from a single community post. And that's the power of social proof. So this next type of post is clear. Case studies. Show how you've helped somebody, be specific, show the transformation, break down the how, because when people see proof, they believe. And when they believe, they will buy. But this next type of post is the one that actually turns viewers into revenue. And if you're building a business with YouTube, you can't afford to skip this. And this is called the coffee chat close. A few years ago, I went to buy a used car. And the moment I stepped onto the lot, the salesman pounced on me. He rattled off everything I needed to know, told me it was perfect, tried to close me on the spot. And he had probably experienced something like that before. It's uncomfortable. It feels pushy, and in the end I did not buy that car. And that's exactly how a lot of creators feel about selling on YouTube. We don't want to be that guy, so we avoid selling completely. But there is a better way. Instead of hard selling, just make an invitation. This type of post is a simple sales invitation. Mention your product or service casually, like you would in a conversation. Let people know there's a way to go deeper if they want to. No hard selling, just a small invitation for those who might be interested. Now, remember, if you want a full template for writing these kinds of posts, there is a link in the video description down below. But if you're struggling to find the time to make videos every week, then I recommend you watch this video next.